Have you ever been in a situation where people underestimated you so badly? They thought you were completely unaware. They smiled in your face, spoke in coded language, made plans behind your back, and all the while they were convinced you had no clue. But what they did not know is that you knew everything. You did not react, you did not confront, you did not expose them immediately. You watched, you listened, you prayed. They looked at you and made a decision. They saw your calm nature, your kindness, your silence, and they mistook it for weakness. They labeled you too soft, too quiet, too unaware. And in their mind, they already concluded they had won. They thought they could make you lose everything: your home, your job, your finances, your reputation. They believed they could isolate you by spreading lies, cutting you off from your support system, and breaking you down slowly. But what they did not realize is this: you knew what they were doing all along. You were just watching. They thought they were ahead of the game, but they did not know you had already read their rule book. There was a moment, a very specific moment, when something did not feel right. It wasn't loud, it wasn't obvious, but deep inside something shifted. That wasn't coincidence, that was God. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 21 says, "My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion." God blessed you with discernment. You did not just hear words, you felt intentions. You did not just see actions, you understood motives. They thought they were being clever. They thought their slang, their coded conversations, their subtle hints would go right over your head. But God had already tuned your spirit. You began to decode everything: the tone, the timing, the hidden meanings. They revealed themselves without even realizing it. Let's be clear about something. You did not act clueless because you were stupid. You acted clueless because you were wise. There's a difference. You understood something they did not. Not every battle is meant to be fought loudly. Sometimes silence is your greatest weapon. While they were plotting, you were planning. While they were talking, you were preparing. You gave them space, not because you did not know, but because you wanted them to reveal more. And they did, over and over again, because they believed you had no idea. You did not panic, even though you saw what they were trying to do: make you unstable, drain your resources, isolate you. You stayed grounded because you were anchored in God. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." You chose peace over chaos. Instead of reacting emotionally, you responded spiritually. You prayed, you planned, you moved in silence. You started putting things in place, safeguarding your finances, rebuilding connections quietly, strengthening your mindset, preparing your next move, all while they were laughing, thinking you were clueless. Here is the irony. The more they believed you did not know, the more they exposed themselves. They got comfortable, they became careless, they spoke more freely, they acted more boldly, they made bigger mistakes, because in their mind you were never a threat, because your discernment was working overtime. You were not just seeing pieces, you were seeing the whole picture. You knew their strategy, their patterns, and their next moves, and the entire time you stayed quiet. Even when it looked like they were winning, God was working. Even when they thought their plans were unfolding perfectly, God was disrupting them. Luke chapter 8 verse 17 says, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." Everything they tried to hide was already exposed to you, not because of luck, but because God was revealing it. God did not just protect you, He gave you insight, and that insight became your advantage. Then came the shift, the moment everything changed, when they realized you were not who they thought you were. You were not confused, blind, or behind. You were ahead the entire time, and suddenly the same people who were confident became confused. Now they are asking themselves, when did you figure it out? How long have you known? What did you see? They are replaying every moment, trying to pinpoint when they lost control. But what they don't understand is this: they never had control. You could have exposed them early. You could have confronted them. You could have made noise, but you chose discipline. You chose timing because you understood something powerful. Not every truth needs immediate reaction. Sometimes the best response is preparation. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was wisdom, protection, strategy. They expected drama, confrontation, and chaos, but instead you gave them silence, and that silence confused them more than anything. Because while they were waiting for a reaction, you were making moves. And by the time they realized the truth, you were already steps ahead. You did not just survive their plans, you outgrew them. You were never clueless, you were covered. You were never naive, you were guided. What they meant for harm, God used for your awareness, your growth, and your protection. They thought they were playing you, but God was positioning you. So don't regret staying silent. Don't regret acting unaware, because that strategy protected your peace, revealed their intentions, and gave you the upper hand. And now you move differently. You see differently. You trust God deeper than ever before. Because when God gives you discernment, you don't need noise to win. You just need to listen. And you did. and that's why you are still standing. Please share your views and experiences with us in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.